Hello everyone, Seraphin here, welcome back for more Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. When I last left you guys, we were going to be working on grabbing the Succubus soul here, because that is the last required soul we need to get the proper ending of this game. And I'm probably going to be, as I mentioned last time, I think what I'm going to actually end up doing is doing some soul farming, simply because I could use the monotony right now. Hey, look at that, early Succubus soul. So what Succubus does is it gives you HP back whenever you attack, which is awesome. And in fact, were it not for the fact that I'm currently using Gremlin to increase my chances of getting souls right now, I would be equipping that, simply because it is incredibly useful. We already have the Succubus soul, I guess we don't need to stay here and grab another one, but that being said, now that I have everything that I need for the final boss, we can kind of move on and do some soul farming. And the teleporter room's just down here. We're going to start with the easiest stuff first, just because, you know, I think a lot of the earlier game souls have a much higher chance of dropping than a lot of the later game ones. So, for example, the Rubicon here. So we're going to go right back all the way to the beginning here, believe it or not. And there's quite a few souls that I don't have. I went ahead and made myself a little list, just for the sake of keeping things consistent. I do have the zombie soul, I believe, so we don't need to worry about that one. However, what I'm also going to go do real quick is sell off all of my worldly possessions that I do not require. And that's going to be quite a few things. We don't need these basic potions any longer, I don't believe, but it might be handy to keep just in case, so we'll hang on to them. I'm going to keep all my potions, but we don't need a lot of... I guess we can keep it as food, too, but we don't need Milliken's sword, we don't really need Hrunting any longer, even though it's really cool. We certainly don't need this Sacred Tree sword. We don't need the Ice sword. We don't need Levitain. A lot of this stuff you can actually just get to drop from regular enemies. Bertgong, I don't believe so. Kalidbog, no, we don't need that. I can't remember what the proper translation of this is, but that's not the right one, so at any rate. You see that Joyus here is worth 90,000, which is awesome, so we'll sell that, make a ton of money. Don't need that. We are going to keep that because it's my primary weapon at the moment. We're just going to pretty much sell everything that isn't the Cleave Sullish, because that is by far the best weapon to be using right now. I also want to keep the Whip Sword just because it's nice for like really extended range things. Gungnir. In fact, we already almost have. There we go. See, as soon as I grab that, we're going to keep the handgun too. As soon as I pick up that Tsuchinoko soul, we'll be able to afford the Soul Eater ring. So in fact, we might head there first. And that way we can grab the incredibly rare and valuable Soul Eater ring, and that will make things a lot easier, I believe. For some reason, Ulrox's suit has a bit of some stat increases here, but I guess we'll keep that too. We don't need this elfin robe. Don't need armor of water. Are you telling me this black cloak? Oh, because it's an accessory, not... Right. It's not actually armor. We can get rid of that then. We don't need this heart pendant. We'll keep Satan's ring. That's kind of creepy. We don't need this Lucky Charm any longer. The Rune Ring is nice to have in a pinch. The Sherman Ring is interesting, but we're not going to be using that. We don't need the Gold Ring really either. So there we go. We've sold off most of our stuff, and we have enough money for the Soul Eater ring as soon as I get the proper soul with which to buy it at a discounted rate. So why don't we go back up to the teleportation area here, and we'll take a detour over to where Tsuchinoko will be, which I believe is over here. We're gonna have to do a little bit of bumping around, but it shouldn't take that long to get it, I don't think. Tsuchinoko he was difficult for me to kill when I first encountered him, simply because it was very early in the game and he's a very hardy monster. But now that I have, you know, this ridiculously awesome weapon that attacks very quickly, I should be able to dispatch with him and get his soul rather quickly. In fact, I believe Tsuchinoko's soul has a very reasonable drop rate, in that it's not difficult to get it. Mainly because, well, there's only one of them in the entire game, and it's just a pain otherwise. So I believe it's at the end of this hallway here. Nope. We gotta go down further if we want it. We'll just kill everything on our way down. There's a few souls down here that I was able to acquire the first way through, but Not as many as I would have liked. We'll see if we can't increase that number on our way through here. You'll see I'm just absolutely trouncing anything in my way. I'm very over-leveled for this portion, so even without the sword as amazing as this one, I would be stomping through everybody in here. I'm pretty sure I could be using my basic pocket knife and be getting just kills just as easily. This is where we fought the big golem, that's right. So Tsuchinoko should be in here, but we need to get him to a point where he's actually exposed like this. And I think a couple attacks will do it. So we just need to keep hitting him. He does spit poison as well. And if he burrows like that, then you don't actually get a chance to get his soul, obviously. It's kind of a... not random. It is random chance, really, but... if he'll stay out over the ground here and whether he'll actually burrow quickly or... So, again, a very annoying soul to try to have to farm, but thankfully the drop rate is not terrible. I've just, haven't gotten it the first couple times here so far. You see he was spitting poison at me, but for some reason it wasn't getting to me. I don't know if that's because my sword is deflecting it or I simply killed him while it was in midair and therefore it just disappeared. I don't think that's a thing. Yeah, there it is already. There we go. So look at that. Tsuchinoko. So this gives you a, I believe, 30% discount on anything at Hammer's shop. So we are going to head back to Hammer real quick. And we are going to grab the Soul Eater ring. Why don't I go ahead and save here real quick just to make sure. I'll top off my health while we're at it. Not that I need it all that much. And even 800, that's nice to see. I believe I have the Evil Butcher Soul already. I don't have Killer Doll, though, I don't think. Thankfully, there's tons of those. I don't have Flea Man either. Well, now I do. There we go. Hops Around Madly is the Flea Man Soul. Alright. And I don't know that I have the Golem Soul. I think I do. So we actually won't need to come back down this far any longer, because there's plenty of other places to get the Killer Doll. In fact, Killer Dolls are like 3 or 4 different wings of the castle for some reason. They're just absolutely everywhere. So we'll head back here, and we'll grab the Soul Eater ring. That will make things hopefully a little easier. More Durga Souls. I'm pretty sure I've got a couple of those already. You see that rare ring is doing work. However, it's not quite as much as I would like it to be. So why don't we drop down? I think I have the Nemesis. I'm not certain. I know I've got Skeleton Knight. All right, let's head back to Hammer and grab that sweet, awesome ring. And there's a lot of really early game spirits that I failed to get, actually. Like, for example, that axe armor that I really wanted. I never got that to drop, which is a little bit obnoxious and annoying, but what are you going to do? So we'll throw on Tsuchinoko. Talk to our man Hammer here. And we'll scroll all the way to the bottom. And here we are at the Soul Eater ring, 240,000. We have plenty of money for that, so let's pick that up. And again, that's going to make our lives a lot easier. I don't think I need anything in the way of additional potions. I'm picking up quite a few, and there's a lot of unexplored areas of the castle that will hold even more of them, so no, we don't need Tsuchinoko any longer, so we'll take that off, and we will equip our Soul Eater ring. The luck increase is the same as the rare ring. However, you see this one increases the appearance rate of spirits as opposed to rare items. And I believe the increase in soul appearance is actually quite drastic, from what I understand. So we should be seeing a marked increase in soul drops. Make sure I didn't miss anything up there. I don't think there's anything worth getting up there, to be honest. So we're just going to plow through the castle one wing at a time, pick up whatever we're missing, and hopefully get it as quickly as possible. So let this be officially the beginning of the soul hunting portion of this Aria of Sorrow run. So, as I mentioned once upon a time, I believe last episode, if the soul hunting aspect of this game is not something you're interested in, please feel free to skip the rest of this particular episode, as well as several additional ones in the coming days. I will include links, or I will include rather descriptions in the video of whether this is going to be a soul hunting episode or not. Expect it to last probably a week, maybe 2, depending on how quickly I can get everything. It's been my experience that even with everything set up optimally, for example, having the Soul Eater ring and having a decent amount of luck and everything, it still takes quite a while for a lot of souls to drop. So do not be surprised if this little episode, this little side episode, ends up lasting longer than I guess some people would otherwise want it to. We're just going to drop back down where we came from. I think we might as well just go to the chapel first. There was plenty to do over there, if I'm not mistaken, and there's some axe armors we can grab. See, I've already grabbed a couple since I got that ring, but on the last there, not any ones that I didn't already have. There's a peeping eye down here. Might get lucky and grab that. Nope, I guess not. Let's see, I'm also going to keep an eye out for areas of the map that I have not explored yet. Because as you can see, there are quite a few little grayed out areas that I haven't been in yet. And there's also a fair amount of areas that I have been to, but had unobtainable treasure that I couldn't reach before. But now that I have the ability to turn into a bat, that's not going to be an issue any longer. We'll just jump right up here. Maybe I can get a blue crow out of here. Maybe this viewer? Nope, guess not. The problem I had with this is you kind of expect, with the Soul Eater ring, you kind of expect these to drop a lot quicker. And while they do drop considerably more often than they otherwise would, it's still a bit of a slog. Well, there's a zombie soldier already. That's one more down. Here's an axe armor, but no soul. The zombie soldier throws grenades. It's kind of handy. It does a lot of damage. In fact, if you're able to farm that particular soul, or not farm necessarily, but if you're able to get a lucky drop for that soul early on, it can help you out quite a bit for some more annoying enemies. That's the top floor entrance, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, that's something different. I believe that goes to the inner quarters. That's an area we haven't been in yet. This particular little alleyway here. Or hallway, I guess. Oh, let's grab Persephone while we're here. Or attempt to, I suppose. You know, I'll come back the way I came. How about that? Let's grab... There's a lot of stuff for me to grab in this wing. I guess we'll start here. I don't really have a plan laid out, so to speak, for how I'm going to grab everything in this area, but like I said, we'll do it one thing at a time. There should be a Lilith for me to grab in here. Lots of Persephones. There's a Lilith right there. Oh, and we get the soul immediately. Increased by 8 from Lilith. That didn't take long. Persephone, however, is being a little more stubborn with her soul here. But that's understandable. More Lilith. Wow, that's one of the few things that hasn't died in one hit lately, huh? Alright, so if I'm not mistaken, we still need Persephone in this area. We still need the Kioma Demon. We need the Chronomage. We still need a Valkyrie. I did make myself a handy little list of souls that I don't have yet. It's a very long list, although thankfully that list is already dropping precipitously, which I'm okay with. Here's the Kioma Demon right here. Thankfully he dies in one hit because he's annoying to kill otherwise. I forget what's in here. Oh, that's teleportation room. Come on, Persephone. You can do it. Like I said, there will be lots of opportunities for me to get stuff in this wing. There's numerous amounts of all of the different enemies that exist in this quarter, so it won't be difficult. I forget what I was discussing earlier before I started talking about soul farming, but you know what? It must not have been all that important, I guess. Something else I'm going to do, it was requested actually by a couple of people that have talked to me privately. Following the end of the story mode proper here, I guess the main part of the game here, there is a couple of extra things that I would like to show you guys, similar to what I did with the Metroid Fusion playthrough. Just some extra neat little things you can do once you finish the game proper. One of the big things being that there is a hard mode to this game. The map is exactly the same, the bosses are the same, that kind of thing. Just enemies are tougher, obviously. That being said, however, on the hard mode version of this game, there are a lot of items that are in different places, and a lot of other things. So for... Oh look, free disc armor, sweet. Shreds enemies to bits with a spinning disc, delightful. I don't really actually think we need to go up here or anything for anything else. We got the disc armor already. That being said, so the hard mode has certain items in different places than they otherwise would be in normal mode, and also there's some weapons that are hard mode exclusive. For example, there is You saw the handgun that I have already. There is a silver handgun that is far more powerful than the regular one, that is only accessible in hard mode. So we will be attempting to grab that, and also, I also wanted to show you guys the boss rush mode that you can do once you've completed the story, and there's some exclusive weapons you can earn from doing that as well. That being said, I will show you that stuff once we get to that point, but again, it's probably going to be another week or two before we're done with soul farming, and then we'll finish up this story here. You'll get to see the real ending. I guess I'll explain what the other endings are too when we get there, but I'd rather you see the real one, because the not real ones are pretty boring and bland. So we'll get there when we get there, though. Like, let's say another week or two, and then we'll move on to do boss rush mode, and maybe I'll come back and do hard mode of this some other time. But considering it's almost the exact same game, it's probably not going to be worth it. Only because there's very little difference gameplay-wise. In fact, there's no difference gameplay-wise, just a couple of different items and stuff. So maybe I'll show you that on the side. We'll see. At any rate, we'll continue with soul farming in the next episode. But until that time, thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. This has been Seraphin. Stay classy, internets.